All right, so first things first, you're going to go to the customer's door, you're going to deliver your pitch. We've got 2 different pitches here to consider. They have different arguments for each. But at the end of each of these, you're giving the customer a choice. It's a choice that is predicated on really one thing. You narrowed it down for your ability to get on that roof. They only have a choice between the time. Okay, so Ms. Jones, it'd be good. I'm going to be back in the area today, at 2 o'clock or I don't know, about 4:30. Which works better for you?
4.
About 4. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll just see you about 4 o'clock, and we'll go from there. Okay, sir?
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Well, now you're going to come back at 4 o'clock. You're going to get your ladder. You're going to, when you get out of the car, you're going to go ahead and take a picture with our company cam app of the front of the house, the mailbox, walking around the house. Then you can approach the door, let them know you're there, set the time that you're going to be, another 15, 20, 30 minutes it's going to take to walk around the property. You don't need them to do anything right now, but ensure the inside there's no leaking, or if they've even had a chance to, you go back and look at that leak. Okay? If there is, you'll check it out when you come back in from the roof. Okay? Now, you're going to go ahead and start your roof inspection. There's numerous things you're going to look at. You're going to put your ladder up. You're going to make sure you use 3 points of contact. You're going to go up on to the ladder. You're going to get to the roof line. You're going to look down the gutters. You're going to chalk it. You're going to look for hell dings on the gutters on the right and left side because they can be intermittent. You're going to raise the shingle a little bit, and you're going to look down to see if there's drip edge down there. You're going to take pictures of that. If you've got your pitch gauge that you're going to order on Amazon, you're going to take and you're going to put it on the roof. You're going to take a picture of that slopes pitch, knowing that you could have different roof lines and different pitches. So you got to be cognizant of that. You want to try to be as hands-free as you can. So meaning clipboards. Amazon sells a little clipboard holder. It goes to your belt. So you don't have to hold these things. You just kind of have them dangling. It's always good, especially when you're new and you're not as accustomed to climbing roofs. Gives you better sense of security. So you're going to inspect the property. Then from that roof line, if you've already taken your pictures on the ground, depends, but from the roof line, if let's say you have, you can do it the other way too. You go ahead and send the picture link to the customer. Okay? You can keep taking more pictures. They'll upload into the thing because you're sending the timeline to the customer. The customer can click on that. They're going to be able to see that. You probably should preface that when you leave them and remind them if you're coming back. Hey, just remember I'm going to go ahead and do my thing, but I've got your cell phone number. I'm going to go ahead and send you all these pictures. You can be seeing them as I'm doing it, roughly. Okay? Not much lag time, but sometimes depending on connections, there could be a little bit of lag. Okay? So you're going to inspect the property. You're going to start filling out the contingency and the property inspection form. Property inspection form has a little bit of a roof analysis. We got to teach you how to do that, but you're going to start filling that out, knowing what to look for. You don't have to be incredibly overkill to it. Remember, this is your sell to the customer, not to the insurance company, just to the customer. So some cases you will make a mountain out of a molehill on something. You'll zoom in with a nice picture and be like, oh man, look at that. There ain't much to it, but from a picture it looks like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Remember that old adage, you can't be a roofer from the ground. So if the customer makes that statement, well, I think everything's okay up here, it's not leaking in here. Looks fine when I stand outside. Too many times when you walk up on that roof, things are a different story. Okay? So just y'all got to keep these things in mind. Now, so we're going to send the company cam link to the customer, and we already know what the customer's insurance company is. As we get down or what have you, before we knock on that door, we are going to have queued up the catastrophic claims center for said insurance company, whether it be USAA, Amica, Travelers, Liberty Mutual, Allstate, State Farm, State Auto. There's literally hundreds of these. Okay, I named a good portion of a lot that you'll see, but there's hundreds of them. That's why the best way of finding the number is, okay, Google, and you go through it. Okay, but just remember, you don't want to talk to an agent. You want to talk to the catastrophic team. Now, there is some caveats to that. Some insurance companies, they won't accept calls until after 4:30 for these kind of things. You just got to start reading and you'll understand. But shouldn't be a problem. I don't want to confuse you right now. Okay. So, you got to prepare the property inspection, the contingency, and the next step forms. Those are the 3 forms that you're going to go into that customer's home with that you should document, have them sign off on before you leave that house and you wrap up. Now, then you're going to knock on the door and you're going to do what every salesman should do, is assume the sale. At that stage, assuming the sale means you're basically dialing the insurance company because, ma'am, you already have a ton of damage, as you've seen, and it has already came to your phone. I'm here to help you with that said damage. I'm going to go ahead and dial up State Farm, and I'll get an insurance adjuster out here, and then I will meet that insurance adjuster, me and maybe my project manager, and we will negotiate with that insurance adjuster to take care of your roofing, your gutter needs, whatever I've seen out here, for little to nothing out of your pocket, as we've talked about now 2 or 3 times. Okay? Insurance company is going to want to know a couple things. The date of loss. Right now we're using January 11th, but those date of losses literally change for, I was just looking on my weather thing, and I want to say Thursday they're talking about wind gust at 50 and 60 mile an hour around here. So the date of loss might change on Thursday. It changes all the time. Weather is sometimes a daily occurrence, sometimes 2 times a day. Ultimately, you're going to give that insurance company, you're going to say, hey, this is Mac with Southern Indiana Roofing. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. or so Johnson, and I've inspected their property. We have found that there is, 12 plus, I kind of stopped counting, to be honest with you, because there was a lot, damaged shingle areas. And there's also hail damage on all the box fence, the soft metals that we saw up there, the caps and the boots and the things of that nature. And I believe I saw some on the gutters, which I don't know if they have leaking problems on the gutters, but we need to get that checked out too. And you're just having that conversation with State Farm call center person that answers the phone. Okay? And they're going to ask, say, well, let me talk to Mr. Jones, Mr. Johnson, whatever those names are now. But you got to talk to them, and you just say, okay, no problem. I'm gonna turn it over to them. And they say, hey, how can I help you? And they ask them some basic information, how to identify who they are. They then say, well, ma'am, is your house, is it livable still? It's kind of a common question they ask. Well, sure it is. It's not livable when a tornado hits it, maybe. Right. Earthquake, fire, right? Mm-hmm. But this is not as catastrophic as that. Mm-hmm. However, could be. If you've got big holes in your roof and water's just straight coming in, it might feel that way for the moment. So ultimately they do that. It should take 10 minutes, sometimes 15, to wrap that conversation up. The insurance company will give the homeowner a claim number. While they're talking on speakerphone to them, you are to be filling out completely and have filled out the property inspection and fill out all of the basic components of the contingency contract, or what we call the handshake agreement. Okay? So that when the insurance company says, okay, we got you set up, what's going to happen now, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, a day or 2 from now, you're going to get a call from one of our head adjusters or something that is going to come out and check out the property. They'll set that time up directly with you then, but here is the claim number. Claim number 0124578. You document that claim number on this form, okay? And then they hang up with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and now you are there with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and you say, okay, You turn the paperwork around, throw the pen down, and you say, okay, well, here's kind of where we're at. Here's our next steps. One, I'm going to need you to get you to look over this. I need you to fill this out. First things first is here are the questions I asked you earlier about some of those things, and if you need to go through it again, you need to go through it again. But you get that filled out. Here is my initial analysis of what was wrong up there, and I need you to go ahead and sign that. And then here is our handshake agreement. Basically, it says this. It says, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we are agreeing to represent you and negotiate with the insurance company to make sure this gets covered for little to nothing out of your pocket so that we can do the build. This is really all we care about at this stage. But if you read right here, Mr. Jones, it says, we, the undersigned, agree that, except as otherwise stated, we will not be financially obligated to this agreement unless it's paid for by our insurance. So I need you to initial off there because a lot of people are confused. This is not, we are not charging you anything. We don't even know what money this will cost because we've got to negotiate that with the insurance. But at the end of the day, we want you to understand, we want to be the ones that build whatever the insurance company says we need to do to rectify this damage. And then lay your pencil down, pen down, and shut up. First who talks loses. It's a sell, okay? So, customer signs the docs. Then you say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, got one more form real quick. Just want to kind of give you an understanding of the next steps of the process. Well, the form is literally called Next Steps in Your Roof Process, okay? So we're going to send another field inspector out here behind me to ensure that everything I'm doing is up to par. So that we're not submitting claims that may be, I don't know, not claim worthy. Okay? So we're going to submit him. Most of the time it's Tony Judd is who's coming out most of the time, but sometimes we've got a couple other people that do it as well. What I need you to do in the next day or two, whenever the insurance calls you, they may even text you or they may email you now because we're more tech savvy. If they do, we need the date of the adjuster meeting, the time. It could be about any time. We'll just make it fit in our schedule. Okay? And then who's coming out? And then the person coming out, just in case it rains or something, it would be wonderful to have their cell number. Because around here, that stuff pops up all the time. And what happens is we got to go around them, get to the office. That then takes 2 days to get back to us. And then it would be great if we had their cell number. So if they call, see if we can get that. Then you take this, when I leave, put this on your refrigerator. Because these are carbon copies. This is not. You leave them that. This thing here, you take 3 pictures of this. So get signed docs. Then hold on. Put pics in company cam. So you get the signed docs. You take pictures of it. If you're in a bad Wi-Fi area, you just put it on your hard drive of your cell phone. And then once you get in a better area, either send me a text or put those pictures in company cam specifically. Then I'm gonna see it, of course. And then tell your customer to take this, put it in the refrigerator, write your cell number at the top. You're the direct point of contact. And then from there, in the next 24 to 48 hours, they just have that information. And if they don't want to call, that's no problem. Take a picture of this, send me a text, I got it. From there, I'll confirm back I got it. Too simple, because we don't want to be intrusive on their lives. We want to make this. Remember what I told you, Mrs. Jones? The hardest thing you're really going to have to do is pick a color. That's it. So, with that said, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, listen, I got some other places to be. I'm actually running behind because I seem to talk a lot. But any other questions for me? If not, I'm going to make my way out of here. And you say no, make your way out, you wrap up, shake hands, kiss babies, make them laugh, something. And then you are done.